Military convoy graces the dust of the desert in a highly dangerous part of Afghanistan. The 10th Mountains convoy led by their squad leader are luckily rescued by another convoy led by an unnamed staff sergeant. Both men playfully get into a fight, and it turns out that they're brothers. The staff sergeant immediately assists his brother to fix the broken vehicle, and while at it, his younger brother attempts to convince him that they should in fact apply to become Army Rangers by joining the Ranger Assessment Selection Program. With a little persuasion from the squad leader, his older brother agrees to enroll in the program. Unfortunately, they come under heavy attack by the Taliban insurgents. Everyone is eliminated except for the staff sergeant who, though suffers a knee injury, manages to find his brother. He tries to carry his mortally wounded brother back to base but passes out as well halfway there. It's been 2 years since that incident. The sergeant decides to keep his promise to his younger brother by joining the RAS program just to earn an assignment to a battalion of the Consolidated 75th Ranger Regiment. They are given numbers. Rangers are the spearhead of the U.S. Army and they're first on the ground every single time. The fate of the nation and allies depends on their expertise.
Rangers lead the way! All the way!
At which point they'll be eligible for the Ranger Scroll, the Tan Beret, and the most storied regiment in the United States Army. The training is intense and brutal. No opportunity for weakness, because if you show weakness, you'll pack your bag and leave immediately. There's no shame in quitting. Most of them will quit, but only those who really have what it takes will be selected as Rangers.
Slow down, Superman. Making the rest of us look bad.
Why are you here?
Fight with the best!
Ready, up!
An underwater exercise commences. While other recruits give up after a few minutes, the sergeant stays put. He refuses to come out of the water and eventually drowns but is immediately rescued by his colleagues. Torres and Sheridan are worried about his suitability of the sergeant to be a ranger. They call him to their office, cautioning him for not being a team player and questioning his mental state due to his PTSD. They insist he pulls out of the program, but the staff sergeant, who is now known as 81, refuses to quit. He must fulfill his promise to his brother. At some point, the news reports that NASA has detected a massive interstellar object believed to originate from outside our solar system. 81 and a few others make it to the final stage of the selection process. They now have 30 minutes to gear up and get ready for one last drill. Torres briefs the team on their final mission. They are to destroy an aircraft so it doesn't fall into enemy hands. Their rifles are blank firing adapters, so they can't shoot. Team Leader 7 is made 2 IC, while 87 is made the team leader.
Welcome to Death March.
Black Hawk helicopters lift the soldiers into the air. Minutes later, they get off the chopper using ropes, immediately assuming defensive positions. It's time! Death March is in effect. On arrival, they're expected to head 20 clicks west in exactly 23 hours, 59 minutes and 30 seconds to cross that finish line. The soldiers travel far into the Rocky Mountains. After passing phase line red, the team opts to take a rest for the men to recover. All of a sudden, they are startled by an unknown blast from the sky, which immediately takes out all communication forms. The team immediately scout the landing zone of the object, discovering what looks like a classified aircraft. They proceed closer to the aircraft. 3 soldiers approach the craft to plant a couple of C4s, while 81 infiltrates the woods in search of anyone who may be ambushing them, but instead he finds another aircraft, the actual one they were supposed to destroy. They detonate the bomb, but the aircraft remains undamaged. Instead, it transforms into a gigantic walking war machine that unleashes hell on the soldiers, targeting and eliminating them with insane precision from another planet. The soldiers run for cover and are unable to retaliate because they're carrying blank rounds. When the war machine ambushes them on a cliff, they are forced to jump off the mountain, rolling down the deadly slopes where many lose their lives and 7 Feet's leg is severely broken.
Hey, just suck it up. You can do that for me?
This isn't what they planned for. In fact, this isn't what they trained for. Not his kind of interstellar military might. Nothing could match the prowess of this incredible Terminator. It's basically a walking death machine designed specifically for them. After the first attack, only 81, 7, 15, 44, 60, 109, 122, and 23 are left alive. It's a mess. There's a strange interference in the air. The machine affects the magnetism of their compasses, allowing them to now sense when it's close enough for them to run for cover. They had fallen from a cliff into another cliff, which they need to leave as soon as possible, or death will befall them all. The soldiers thrown down very long ropes, and one after the other, they begin to climb down from the cliff. Unfortunately for them, halfway up the cliff, the death machine shows up and destroys 96. The machine immediately scans the area for survivors and picks up 7 Feet's leg. It opens rapid fire at them, unleashing precision-bound missiles targeted to eliminate everyone, but the soldiers manage to escape this time. The soldiers begin to blame it on the Russians or Chinese, but truth be told, they have no budget for that kind of tech. Basically, the Chinese just copies the US. Don't think that's the case these days anyway. All vials of the morphine are broken and 7 is in severe pain. 81 pushes his bone back into position. They have to find the rebel village about 8 clicks west. The soldiers ditch everything besides medical and mobility to cross a merciless terrain. No more death march, no more rasp. There's no finish line, no comms, no flares, no firearms. They travel until they arrive at a river and immediately prepare to tie a rope across the water to enable them pull 7 to the other side. 81 crosses to the other side, and while the soldiers try to take 7 across the rope, the carrier gets stuck. Then from nowhere comes the death robot. It opens fire at the team, forcing them into the river and chasing them down towards the waterfall. There's nothing they can do in this situation except to jump into the waterfall. Everyone survives the fall. 60, who had gotten separated from the team during the chase in the woods, returns. The river has pushed them east instead of west. They have to circle back again. Somewhere in the woods, they find a trip connected to a flare, part of Cadre's perimeter surveillance. Sadly, after reaching the position of the Cadre who were supposed to be posing as the enemy at the village, they discover that the death machine had eliminated every single soldier. The radio relay tower has been destroyed and everywhere is in shambles. 81 discovers that it was from roughly a 20-degree angle the attack came from. They begin to wonder if that thing is actually what was inside the asteroid that was mentioned on TV. Survivor is spotted but dies before he can say anything. 81 wants them to pull their ASV vehicle out of the ditch, then an emotional 15 confronts him about his hardcore coldness, saying that not all of them are war heroes like him. This forces 81 to break down, explaining that he is not a war hero. He tells everyone that his attitude stems from his failure to rescue his only brother and was rewarded a medal for this failure. It doesn't change the fact that he couldn't get his brother across the line. With definite knowledge that the war machine is extraterrestrial, they work together to pull out their vehicle, intending to use it to try to make it back to base. Together, they successfully pull the vehicle out of the ditch, but there comes the beast. A bloody chase begins. They use live ammunition inside the truck to return fire at the robot, but the bullets keep bouncing off the monster. They continue taking heavy fire from the alien robot. Their armor can't take any more blasts at this point. The beast unleashes multiple grenade-looking balls, shattering their driveway and sending the vehicle spinning violently into the woods and off the cliff, but 44 tilts it back into position. The robot appears in front of them, unleashing what looks like cosmic rays. They return fire, but nothing can get this beast off their backs. 81 loses 7 in the process, but fires a rock slide that subdues the war machine. The ASV is destroyed. Everyone dies except for 81 and 7. It's a complete tragedy. 81 goes to the crash site of the machine and discovers a part of it missing. He then sees another war machine sending a mysterious signal into space. He quickly pulls 7 through the forest for hours until 7 regains consciousness. 7 tells 81 that he knew his brother, the squad leader, and that he wouldn't shut up about becoming a ranger with 81. The machine continues scanning the area, and then 81 discovers that the machine is venting. He tells 7 to wait in the woods. 81 finds a construction site along with some dynamites and a flare gun. He lights up the site and lures the machine, then the dynamite goes off, stalling the machine and giving 81 time to attack it with an excavator. At first, it seems to be working. 81 immediately pours small rocks into the ventilation system of the machine, causing it to overheat and explode, destroying the site. However, multiple grenade balls come off the fallen robot, wrecking another massive explosion that sends 81 flying. What he couldn't do for his brother, he must do for 7. 81 carries 7 on his shoulders until he arrives at their destroyed base. He crosses the finish line and 7 is taken away. Sheridan approaches him and discovers that he's all that's left. They lost half the battalion and couldn't inform his team earlier on. The war machines are everywhere, but they successfully neutralized the first wave and are now preparing for a global invasion. Sheridan and Torres wonder how 81 took down one of the machines without a single weapon. They tell him that the suspected asteroid was actually an army of alien machines, which have now started a global war with humankind. Immediately, 81 reveals the weakness of the alien war machines. He is accepted into the 75th Ranger Regiment and is assigned to lead the next assault against the machines. Another team is commissioned and sent out to rise to the occasion and seize their glory. This time, there will be less casualties, hopefully.
Rangers, lead the way!